2, 1.
This week on Hermitcraft!
Are you kidding me? Oh my god, this is the worst. Oh my god. Maybe it was Zedaf because we dragged him. Or Mumbo. Who knows? Who would do such a thing?
Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara, and we got this comment on our Hermitcraft prank war video saying, "It happened again." Well, it's always a good week when the it is happening, and this time we sure had an eventful time between the dueling museums, the archaeology completionism, a chicken-based prank war unfolding, and Zedaf getting killed by a snowman somehow. So subscribe while you're here and let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week, before it crashes from entity spam lag. Starting with Zedaf, who figures, yeah, I am more squishy than the mob that can't deal any damage and dies when so much as shown a shovel.
How can something so passive, so friendly, actually be a murderer? It's wearing a mask! Revealed! It was the snowman all along.
As mentioned, Zed wants to get killed by a snowman for the sake of the getting killed by everything Zedvancement. And it turns out he can. It just takes one deeply silly contraption to do so. Did you know snowballs are projectiles that can be set on fire? Yeah, that one makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Well, fiery projectiles can set off TNT, and then that counts as the kill by whoever threw it. So eventually one of his turret snowmen successfully Oppenheimers Zedaf, proving that yes, there is no threat, no matter how flimsy, that he won't die to.
And look, I told you, I totally sleep in that bed still.
Maybe this was inspired in part by Rendog's incredibly OSHA-compliant music disc farm. Probably more so a product of listening to the Cacophony machine.
Oh, it's beautiful. Okay. Oh, it doesn't turn off. Oh, I can still hear them and they're so far away.
In his own quest to basically port the Minecraft wiki to Hermitcraft, Cubfan135 lures the remaining monsters into their final resting place, including a zombified piglin brute, Scar and him trick into becoming a trivia dispenser. He even gives it a voice using the new head on a note block system the game introduced. Unfortunately, no one can tell what any of it means, so Cub adds an interpreter circuit too.
Brute to Piglin translation. And then we have the Brute to English translation. So the Brute said, "Would you rather be stabbed by a sword or give up a single ingot of gold?" The Brute said,
"Please subscribe to Hermitcraft Recap, my career is dying."
Making his place into even more of an Xbox tutorial world, Cub displays helpful factoids about armor trims at their display that also inform you where you can find them and how low the chances of you finding them there actually are. What is certainly not very museum of him is that the gift shop at the end is selling pottery sherds, and since we know those can't be duplicated, this means the museum is straight up selling not copies, but what they consider priceless ancient artifacts. Though that's probably still not as unethical as the parkour exhibit that kills you.
I believe. Cheese it! Cheese it!
There's gotta be a way up.
Cheese it!
There's gotta be a way up.
You got it! You got it! Oh!
In related news, many horses will be harmed in the production of next week's video. Good Times with Scar realized that he can get rid of all three of his problems plaguing the Scarland Park by using the wither projectiles Doc left at his place to blow up the horses B-dubs left at his place, as well as blow up the B-dubs who will come to rescue said horses from being blown up.
This is the horse show. That's right, it's gonna shoot out the wither skulls, killing B-dubs, or at least giving him a little horse curse, which is amazing.
It is most impressive that Scar had the patience to wrangle all these animals into a giant head, and just as much if he manages to actually load the Wither Skull floaties into the dehorsing gun. One way or another, XP Crafted chose an incredible week to have an episode entitled Zoo Creature Expansion, and despite this, he is not interested in the sniffer. Or maybe he is, he hasn't met the right sniffer yet. Either way, he goes out in search of camels.
Oh, look at him, he's so precious.
Eventually locating an uncharted pair of desert villagers, he snaps up the camels and leads them back to his base through the nether, eventually arriving at a set of tunnels that lead through to a water elevator which surfaces in the zoo.
It's just a little scoot. I'm just scooting. Go that way. Oh, I thought I had a fence in here. Dang it.
The call of the sniffer proves too strong, and he dusts down a few ocean ruins in search of a sniffer egg or two. Then, because this episode didn't have enough deserts in it already, he locates a pair of pyramids where he can get suspicious about the sand.
Is that what that is? A sherd instead of a shard? Is that like a technical term? Like I'll mispronounce a word? I mean, like it's a technical term. Oh, diamond.
He arrives back at the zoo just in time to discover camels can walk over fences and that sniffers are adorable. Impulse SV could have told him that after tearing through the 1.20 features that grabbed his attention, although the first order of business was returning from vacation to find himself falling in a boat. But that boat was made of cherry wood, so Impulse had to go find some of that for himself.
But yeah, I was in a boat and I basically was falling, and they put slime blocks at the bottom, I guess, just to make sure I wouldn't die, and I didn't even realize what was happening. I thought I was just like infinitely falling and the server was hiccuping. Yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate the welcome back.
He then moved on to a trail ruins, digging that up for the trims and the new music disc, and sent a camel to hell and back so he could open a camel sanctuary on an island off the coast of the Soup Trio's bases.
Okay, let's go for the nudge. There he goes! Uh-oh!
That's when he also digs into sniffer mechanics, but by that time he's hyped up to get his armor looking on brand, so he plunders an undiscovered ancient city in search of the Ward armor trim, adding some gold trim to his netherite boots and leggings. The chest plate has to follow, but that's when the update has some bad news about your diamond armor's extended warranty.
Ooh, now that there's 3 slots, how does this work? Can we still do it like this? Are we supposed to craft netherite chest plates now? Yep, had to consult the wiki.
Etho rounds out our trio of camel nappers, although unfortunately it turns out his camel's hump wasn't filled with helium after all.
Okay, about there's good, and now if we stop rocketing, it should just balloon with us here. There's a chance he'll detach from the lead, so... Oh, he's gone. Oh, it was going so good!
Etho has also been gathering 1.20 stuff, since many people have pointed out that some pitcher plants would fit the vibe and color palette of his organic alien base perfectly, as does the constant supply of gunpowder, although that's really just an Etho thing.
Okay, I found it. I found it! So, that's all good. The only flaw I can see with this farm is maybe I should have built it a little bit bigger.
The rest of his time has been spent improving and mapping out the Iceboat Raceway, and holy cow, this thing is even bigger than we ever suspected. The course map is enormous, and we have to applaud Etho for his efforts as he works on decorations, lighting, and redstone for some huge parts of it. He has the bright idea to use banners to indicate track direction and warn the player about the sharper turns, and while he's setting up the barrier at the starting line, we get a demonstration of how experienced players will be able to get a boosted start to the race.
Here, there's like a risk versus reward section here. Oh, I missed it. Or if you ride on the clay like that, it'll slow you down, and then it makes it a lot easier.
Finally, he snags himself a red crown from the button, which I think makes him Mumbo's second best friend, if we're still keeping score. After raiding an ancient city in search of glory and music discs, Rendog expected things to calm down and have plenty of time to work on the new site for Boombox Records, having relocated it behind Scar's Redstone Boutique and opposite B00's Moss Shop. But his building time keeps getting interrupted by distractions from other hermits. First, the news that Cubfan has an entire royal exhibit he hasn't had the time to visit yet, and something Ren can contribute to, if Cub's interested in acquiring the authentic keys to the castle.
Tiny crown of the dog.
I'm not sure if that... It's actually quite difficult to tell if that was the original crown or not. Keep on looking.
You got? Oh, the key to the castle.
Intent to play no favourites, or perhaps stoke the fires of rivalry, the late King Ren actually splits his artifacts between Cubs and Zombie Cleo's museums, though that lasts for all of 5 minutes once Cleo breaks out the Loyalist card and near drives Ren to tears with all the nostalgia for the days of the Doggian Empire.
I love how you replicated the staircase from the quest dungeon. That's really, really cool.
You know what? I'm so glad you noticed. I thought that might be wasted.
Yeah, absorb it again and see it all again and like relive it, so to speak, is really awesome.
Yeah.
So
remembering
so
that you
cool.
did an amazing job, actually, Ren.
Well, we did. We all did. I mean, it
I
was
say,
a server effort,
you say we all did, but Ren, you were the trigger. You were the initiator. You built so much.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go have a cry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I am welling up myself. Disappear, please, before I do cry.
The tour of all their museum, including Jevin's papier-mâché fossil from last week, ends with Rendog granting his former shady vizier the real actual crown full final.psd, all other ones being but a replica. Probably due to the prop department losing the darn thing until now. And so the tiny crown of the dog rests once more atop a king's head. That can only be good.
Tiny crown of the dog, and I guess the snake.
Then there's Doc M's whole deal, which we'll be getting into shortly, but suffice it to say that Ren discovers a new form of transport.
Dude, I'm not even pushing forward right now. Yeah, it's just a conveyor belt of chicken action. This is the best.
Then XP Crafted and Corrales jump scare him while he's checking on his shopping district profits, and of course he needs to give Zedaf a tour of the new permanent music disc farm over at Gigacorp Island. All this means he's only able to get the foundations of Boombox Records built, but it promises to be a lively shopping experience, especially if Zed makes good on his promise to install a machine that plays all the records at once.
They are gonna cost.
Big bucks. Big bucks. But before we sell them, we'll do a full cacophony listen through of all the music at once, and then we'll sell them.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't turn off.
And just when he thought the interruptions were over, Mumbo stops by to pose an unusual question.
Would you blow up my base for 64 diamond blocks?
Wait. Wait, is this a prank? Who else is on?
You see, Mumbo's been debating the design of his base and has decided on a major remodel. In creative mode, he's mocked up a skyscraper that fits the same block palette but makes a more impressive mark on the skyline. So the first step in this redesign process is to destroy the structure surrounding his bamboo farm. And hey, he's already had his vault door blown up this week, so why stop there?
Would you blow up my base?
Oh, absolutely not. No. No.
But genuinely, I'm not going to ask Zedaf because I feel like he will say yes with absolutely no moral conflict. I mean, why do you think I'm not asking Grian, or Doc?
The blown out safe vault is the result of the contraption Doc M left for Grian to discover. As predicted, seeing a zombie with a better crown than himself made Grian immediately murder it, and that blew out the vault door, even if it's not entirely clear as to how.
I'll just do it. Did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it? I don't know how to physically, emotionally, or spiritually fix this.
For some reason unafraid in the face of an enemy who can phase dynamite through walls, Grian finally deploys the Cluckpocalypse he's been building up in the walls of his base for a while. The Armageddon, if you will. Assuming the identity of Poultryman and dragging Scar in for help, Grian cracks every egg he has at Doc's perimeter, spawning countless chickens and farming many more. At some point they even set up automated egg farms to AFK at. Turns out the area is chunk-loaded, so I don't know why they did that. Truly, they followed the teachings of that one chicken from 2 seasons ago.
Okay, what's the plan? We got the whole crew here. We got the chicken, we got you.
What's the plan? Oh, okay.
Side note, that clip comes from a Season 7 episode which Grian split into chapters, and the chapter that clip is in is titled The Giant Goat, because Grian witnesses a prank on Doc M. History may not be repeating itself, but it sure does rhyme. Ultimately, though he's made peace with the idea of exploding most of his base, Mumbo doesn't want to ignite the TNT himself. He seizes the opportunity to test his friend's resolve and asks 3 other hermits to do it. Rendog and Zombie Cleo both reject the opportunity. You'll never guess who accepts.
Oh, there you are. Whoa! What?
Well, when he makes an entrance like that, I guess it's kind of obvious Scar would be up for the job. He's even wearing a hard hat already.
For 64 diamond blocks.
Yes? Can I blow your base up? Can I blow your base up? Please, 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 please. I chose revenge today, Mumbo.
No, I said clear your mind. I said clear your mind. Have you not cleared your mind, or is this just your mind?
That's a good question, actually.
But he approaches the task with gusto, and he and Mumbo gleefully dismantle Mumbo's bamboo farm facade, leaving it a smouldering crater with a bright future. Which is when Mumbo's second social experiment presents itself, convincing Grian that he's responsible for it. It's a ruse that lasts long enough for Grian to burn the best friend crown, at which point Mumbo confesses, and somehow Grian still trusts him enough to invite him into the latest alliance against Doc M77.
How do you defeat a goat?
You push him off a cliff.
They're notoriously good at staying on cliff.
Yeah, that's like the one thing.
You kick their feet out.
During their first meeting, they discover that Grian's game keeps crashing every time there's falling blocks nearby, which on the one hand is inconvenient, but on the other hand might be preemptive defense against an adversary with an anvil cannon.
I can't believe you created an anti-Grian switch.
In Doc M's defense, he was very excited about blowing up Mumbo's garage door. Okay, yes, that may not be a great statement in his defense, but I think we can all agree he's capable of defending himself. Because on discovering the chicken bomb, he is quick to defuse it, although significant damage has already been done. Since the area was chunk-loaded, about 5,000 chickens have swarmed in his absence, and those are just the ones he can render around him.
What the heck is this? Oh my god! Oh my god, what? This is more than 3,000 entities. I only looked into... Oh my. What the actual...
Falling into the battery farm and suffocating in a cloud of feathers was the last straw. Any chickens that aren't evaporated in lava or die to the sword are painstakingly led through the nether and back to Grian's base. And honestly, the time-lapse footage of this is pretty incredible.
And it may not look like that much until you look down. I don't even know how he got them here.
But the chickens are surprisingly keen to thwart his efforts to corral them. They glitch through the corners of a slime block sweeping machine and find hiding holes in the convenient bedrock craters. Doc enlists the help of Zedaf, Rendog, and an army of foxes, and eventually clears them all out, leaving him with an appetite for revenge and a huge advantage in the next game of stat poker. The Goat Father's revenge is swift and thematic. Taking the very dragon egg that Grian and Scar had left as an apology for destroying his tunnel bore, he cannibalizes an end portal to duplicate it, first one at a time, then with a few redstone additions he's cloning it in enormous quantities. We're talking hundreds of thousands of eggs per hour. There are a few bumps in the road, like that one time when the machine blows him up and deletes most of his equipment, but it's worth the sacrifice just to hear Rendog's reaction to this newest bending of the rules of reality.
Now watch.
Oh, I'm nervous. What's gonna happen? Hold me, Mama! Oh my goodness, there's something. There's noises.
It's the source of our big balls.
Dude, these are massive balls.
Yeah.
You broke Minecraft. What is this nonsense?
And Ren is all too eager to help with the aftermath. Loading up with shulker boxes of freshly cloned dragon eggs, and with little help from Tweakaroo, he and Doc spam the eggs all over the Buttercup's bases. If you ever had your house egged and thought that was a mess, imagine what it'd be like if every time you tried to clean it up, the egg teleported somewhere else. While we're still waiting to see how the Buttercups respond, at least now we can finally answer the age-old question. The chickens definitely came before the eggs. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP and my name is PixelRiffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.